Sincere, Bond Supreme, Allah, All from One, Felix Almanzar, 793rd, Edward Green, All from One, said, on the Idi being the quality or condition, a lot of people quality of life is low frequency. CERN love. JF, Wrong J. Wrong J, you know, we got the yard, we got we got some new surprises out there. JF says past my bedtime. You can't do hip hop in 10 o'clock be past your bedtime. It's like that just don't go together. This right here, you know, just in general, you know, reality is real. But one's reality, you know, one's reality may not be real. Meaning, you know, this could, you know, actually be, you know, things that you're doing every day, but it's based on an illusion. You know, this is the situation, you know, when you say, can a devil fool a Muslim? Right? The way in which he made them blind, deaf, and dumb when they were babies, right, is by putting them in a reality that wasn't real. Making a everyday life be based on illusion. You know, I was just reading some headlines here. You know, I was reading some headlines here, right? And so, for instance, you know, and look, this is, you know, trigger warning. Trigger warning. I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to make fun of this, you know, just in general, right? You know, trigger warning here. This is not, but you know, this is, you know, it says female avatar sexually assaulted in Zuckerberg's Horizon world. Now, you know, this is the metaverse. You know, the female avatar was sexually assaulted in the metaverse right here. You know, I don't know if y'all are interested in, you know, that's just the headline right there. I don't know if y'all are interested in, the whole article. But I'm just saying, is this real? Like, this is the reality that we living in right now. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, some of these types of things, right? Some of the things, kind of that we concern ourselves with, in the modern society, we gotta ask ourselves that question. Is this the new way that people is being fooled? Cause see, it's different ways, and we don't condone scamming, but there's different ways to fool a person, right? You got deception, and then you got distraction. Those are just two of them. A lot of times when you think, somebody's fooling you, right? The first thing that comes in your mind is deception. But see, just like with a magic trick, right? I'm talking about a magician, a person that makes a rabbit come out of a hat, right? For the most part, they're not using deception. They're using distraction to trick you. And so right now, let me look for a place. It should be a place somewhere around here, but now it's born. I'm gonna check that with you. Ooh. Because Amina has been, I've been trying to ignore her, but it appears she's, BC Realm. Abdul Rahman said, what is a simp? I mean, I don't know if we really, do we touch on that kind of topic on Random Jewels? I mean, did someone call you that or something? Right now we happen to be on the topic of, when one's reality is not real. So Joe Thornton, who is, well, now I don't know, he was in Vegas for a minute, gave you a little response right there in the comment section. He says, someone called me a simp today because I took up for a single mother. Well, I mean, that in and of itself is not simp behavior. I mean, what was the circumstance? Well, what was the circumstance under which you made this defense? Were you dealing with something where the reality, reality is real, but one's reality. Like, remember the Pokemon game? Remember, I don't know what you call it. It was the Pokemon game where the people was walking around they was running around catching Pokemons. I mean that's what that's you know the Pokemons wasn't real. Don't I'm not I know that the topic that I'm touching on, you might think I'm losing a little bit, but no. I'm not saying that the Pokemon was real. I'm saying that the people was running around in the real street. Like, somebody got shot. Somebody got shot going around the wrong place, talking about they was chasing around, they was chasing down Pokemons. Shaquem, did I see you? Did I see you since I was in the hood? I told you I was way out, like Avenue J and Flatbush. Came up the whole Ave, all the way back to the bridge. Whole time I was like, man, Shaquem, I should have had or I should have filmed the camera so Shaquem could see. Shaquem, they got Mexican food. They got Mexican food by Parkside now. Hey, listen, I didn't believe it either. It is Mexican food on Parkside. How do you like that for gentrification? But you said some cat was trying to bag her in front of her 3 kids. I'm like, bruh, you don't see her walking with them kids. Uh, uh, well, I mean, yeah, that is inappropriate. I mean, uh, how was he? How was what was he saying? Like, did he say good afternoon? My name is X. What's your name? Or was he, just saying something that like even this type of language around children that's not your children is probably pushing. He was like, what's your, is that like some, yo, shorty? That's a little bit, that's a little bit much. And so then what did you say? Dina? And you said jokingly like you don't see her with them kids, but serious at the same time. Well, yeah, he's confusing. He's confusing terms right there. You know. shorty had all her chest out and a blonde wig. All right, so man, this is super complicated. This is when reality is not real. This is why you get into these types of things. I mean, yeah, you want me to tell you something that I drew up, right? I was listening again on the app. I know I shouldn't be listening to it, but I'm gonna tell you something. Just the way the world is right now, right? It's like Medina, what are you talking? Yeah, I got Medina. What the hell is? What the hell is Medina putting in the chat box right now? I don't even know. Women be delivering some gunshots recently, man. And I don't even be knowing what they mean. But recently, I'm telling you, it's a couple of things. Like, yo, I heard a woman. I was listening to the app. And the woman said to the other woman, or she said, whatever they was talking, and the woman said she prays to God that the other woman's edges never grow back. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I don't know how much worse. I'm not a woman. I can't really tell, but I think that's just from the outside looking in. That's like, ooh, like, how something happened back in the days when people be beefing, and you be like, ooh. Like, that just sound like gunfire right there. Like, I'm not sure. I think you can get in a fight over that. I don't know. But women be delivering some gunshots to each other, man. And then they talk about this support women shit. But you know how back in the days though, Abdul Rahman, like when you first went outside to play, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about you going outside and you playing like tackle the man with the ball or something, you know what I mean? And it's like at first everything be fun, right? And then something happens, you get hurt. Like somebody tackle you hard or something, whatever, you run into somebody, you hit your head, scrape your knee, whatever it is, you get hurt, right? And then it's like the other older boys that's there, they like, nah, get up, nah, you alright, you know what I'm saying? And, stop crying and shit. And then it's like, once you start crying, you go back to playing. They like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like they encourage you to be tough, Of course, to some people, what I'm describing right now is toxic masculinity. You know what I'm saying? But, fortunately or unfortunately, that's, the way it was. You know what I'm saying? And, when, as soon as that happens, right, you come to the realization that this is a part of playing outside. This is, a certain amount of these interactions is going to result in me getting hurt. Like I said, I'm going to bust my head open. I'm going to scrape my knee. I'm going to hit my funny bone. I'm going to bite my lip, jam my finger, stub my toe, get poked in the eye. Certain amount of things is going to happen by the nature of the interaction. You know what I'm saying? And I think that just the way women and men is mixed together right now, is certain amount of things going to happen just from the interaction. You know what I'm saying? That's what's different from before, where the interaction between, males and females was limited. I saw a game, they was battling the sexes out there today. The game, it was ridiculous. See, that's when the teacher's reality is not real, right? Where I never saw this game before. I don't know what the name of it. District 120. You might know this game. I don't know what it is, but it was a soccer ball, and they put the soccer ball in the middle of the field, right? And on one side it was a line of boys, and on the other side it was a line of girls. And the game was you had to run out to the center of the field, get the ball, and then run back to your side. You know what I mean? And it looked like, you had to do that without the person from the other team, like two-hand touching you. You know what I'm saying? And so as I was walking past the first kid, you could tell, he's been raised in that house where, you let women win. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how he was raised. So he runs up to the ball and then he stops and he lets the girl grab it and then she does something and then eventually he tags her out, but he does it like he doesn't really want to do it. You know what I mean? So then the next kid, he's a little more old school. He just jets out, grabs the ball. The girl barely got it. The girl barely got 3 steps towards the ball. You know what I'm saying? And so then you hear the teacher telling the girls, don't give up. Just because they ran and they got the ball, and it's like, miss, what are you doing to these people? This is not the kind of game that the girls play against the boys. Like, there's other games we can play together, like hide and seek. We can play that. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, tag, the girls not gonna like tag either, because they can't catch nobody. But if that's what you're gonna if that's what's gonna happen, it's gonna be those many interactions. It's gonna be just by law of averages, these complicated situations like that, where it's like because see, it's like you said. Now Abdul Rahman, and I'm not trying to flip. I'm not trying to flip it and bounce it, right? But here's a question, and this is not to negate the fact that the brother shouldn't have said that. First of all, let's just full out, like I already said, yeah, that's a bit much, right there, right? But here's the brother's point of view. Did you tell her that you with your kids right now? What are your titties doing out? Like, your kids don't need to see that. If one of them was a little girl, right? She doesn't need to see that, it's cool to be outside in a way that'll make brothers approach you and say that kind of thing. Not that you should have said it, because that's another thing I see with the world right now, where you gotta say something to everybody has to be involved with this cancel culture. Like, it's people that think that, look, if you've ever said anything offensive, I'm supposed to kick you out the room right now. I'm supposed to block you from my channel because you said something to somebody else in Japan. But that's you gotta you gotta look at that aspect, only because I'm saying it's a social thing. It's dealing with social equality. That's the social equality. It just being outside and how the people react to each other. Do the old people get respected? Do the children get protected? Et cetera, et cetera. All that's the social contract. So you deal with the social equality, if you know, seven power. Yeah, I see that. I didn't catch up in the comments yet, but yeah, Abdul Rahman. So you said you was looking at her breasts. I suppose that's what you're saying. Because if you was looking at her breasts, right? I got a question, right? If you was looking at her breasts, right? Were you uh, sexually objectifying her, or was she sexually objectifying herself? See, that's what you said right here. Why not? She had him out. So see, now is this is why the guy's upset, because now it's like, yeah, you just mad because he had the heart to say something. That's his point of view. I'm not saying I'm not saying that he's right. So you said she was objectifying herself, but you wasn't catcalling. I mean, listen, what you said what you said was right. You know what I mean? What you said in terms of, look, she with her kids, at least come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Act like, they in the building at least. You know what I mean? Shoot your shot, but you gotta aim carefully. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so what you said was right, but I mean, it was that's a complex situation right there, man. It's a, it's a complex situation. Hold on, let me catch up with y'all in the comments. See, I had to leave the comments alone because Medina is firing shots. Now Medina, that's the first that's the first time I heard that. I didn't know, and y'all heard me ask on this channel before. I didn't know it was a practical application for the fake eyelashes. You learn something new every day. Is like weird. I did not know. Raise your hand in here if you knew that there was a practical application for the fake eyelashes. Type one in the description box. I mean in the comment box here, the chat box. If you knew that there was a practical application for the fake eyelashes. But now that you let me know that, Medina, seems really. I gotta say they smart now. I didn't know. I was wondering, but now I gotta say that. That's some sweet smart shit there, shit. Saturday night Thursday, you can hear and get that type of work on YouTube Lives daily. As I seen a screenshot of this older chick from the P's of another's lack of edges. So they go in on each. I mean, I knew. I mean, I know it's not a good thing. Because remember back in the days, the commercial for Billie Jeans. I know you recall 7930. You got that. That's hip hop. That's hip hop. That's legendary hip hop history right there. Billie Jeans on the Hank Love DNA on the Hank Love DNA show. So I knew it was a bad thing, but I mean, that's like a shot. That's a serious shot right there. So now you're saying Abdul Rahman, you said, but she dressed like she 18. I still think she disrespectful. Them dudes was disrespectful. So that's what so you're saying it's a situation with mutual disrespect kind of there. Or let's not say mutual disrespect, right? But a situation, right, where they both was disrespecting the children. And why would you say nobody gonna get shot for saying that like that? Right now, see the Don Bishop, the term that he used, that is the term that I think is a little more accurate that he meant. That he meant. That's probably what he meant to say. That you were blocking. Uh, but I, that's the language that he has. Oh, now dodgeball. Now I know about dodgeball. That's different. Yeah, I guess there's some new game they just made up or something. Medina, what are you talking about? I said hide and seek. 793rd said for headlights on cars. No, that's not quite the suggestion. That's not quite the suggestion that that's not quite the solution that Medina informed us of. That's not quite the situation that the eyelashes are used to solve here. Abdul Rahman said the new women's uniform is wig, long eyelashes, and spandex. And you know what's funny? That's not. It's not race specific. Like it's across the board. You know, white women, Hispanic women, black women. It's just a matter of how long the eyelashes, what color the wig, and how much lifting and separating these spandex is doing. I what's going on with Medina today? Medina is on fire. But that's one of those situations where, like I said, the reality, we can make all of these different ideas about how we want, society to work and, how things should be and all of this stuff. But, at the end of the day, when people actually got to interact with each other and you really got to see this stuff and, like you said, it's really, children there witnessing it, and absorbing the behavior and everything, you know what I'm saying? Uh, that's when it becomes real. Something like that said to me, it's just people taking peacocking to the extreme. Don Bishop said women dress like that all the time in the 70s, cat suits and shit, or trying to get in the club. Nah, but that was uh, a specific group of women, first of all, right? And, uh, it it wasn't, you wasn't seeing that in the supermarket. Like that was something, you might see on TV as a kid, or in particular, right? The Blade was right on the next block over. You know what I'm saying? So you would see women like that wearing that stuff. But my Aunt May never put a goddamn catsuit on in her life. You understand what I'm saying? You know, uh, that was underwear in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Now, in agreement with what you're saying now, the 70s is post-sexual revolution. So that is the beginning of you starting to see certain shit. You know what I'm saying? If it's the 70s, this is after the burning bras, this is, after abortion, you know what I'm saying? After birth control pills, so this is changing the behavior. You understand what I'm saying? But that was still, it wasn't just seen as her living her best life. You know what I'm saying? Uh, that was something that I was actually remarking. That is one thing that it appears like, like I said, I wonder, not saying that I need to know this, but like, what do the women wear, like, say on Figueroa or down at Hunts Point, right? What are the women wearing? Because the clothes that the women wear at the supermarket now, right? You used to see on the Blade. So they got to be butt naked out there now, to try to advertise. Smoked Out. You see, as soon as I talked about the Blade, Smoked Out popped in the room. You see how Smoked Out. you see how Smoked Out. You, you, see how he is? You see how he is? You see how he is? You see how Smoked Out. 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 You see how Medina is Medina is going. Yeah, all right, Medina. Could you tell me that? Medina said, "I miss when women were classy and had style and femininity." Right. This is something that happened that I missed it. Right. But when exactly did women decide that being classy and being ratchet like can go together? Like that's I see that kind of but I don't know when and where did that really come from? Don Bishop says, so take solace that type of dress wear has a set birth record, meaning it will eventually have an ending. So you saying it's going to be like the real story of Little Red Riding Hood? So VC Rum said it comes from Beyonce in the 2000s, and then it said they dressed like Kim Kardashian. He said the problem with the way women are dressing today is they're not getting that cultural example of beauty. What's the cultural example? I mean, personally, I think it's just one of them things where it's a race to the bottom. You know what I'm saying? It's like I remember in the late '80s. You know what I'm saying? Where it just came a point where it started being so many guns that everybody felt like they needed to get guns because everybody else had guns. You know what I'm saying? And so now it's a race to the bottom. So it's the same kind of thing where it's like, if like you said, Kim Kardashian comes out with a dress with a see-through top, then somebody else got to come out with a dress with a see-through bottom. You know what I'm saying? You know, DC Realm said all those program songs of high class to ratchet in a club to ballad format. See, I never really, I've never heard a Beyonce song from start to finish, so I don't know, so maybe that's why I missed it. Maybe that's why I missed it, but I just, it's just something I started seeing. It's like, all right, you got an interview on 5% Connection. You better watch out. They're gonna start doctoring. They're gonna start doctoring audio against you. Then we had to put you with ML Ray and MLK. So you think Beyonce spearheaded Classy Ratchet? Hmm. Mrs. Spock said it's hood, but I mean, how did it get? So Seven Power, you saying that they don't get images of women that look beautiful, right, without kind of being overtly sexually provocative. Smoked Out said, I agree with the race to the bottom, like how some cats in the street tell you they trying to go to jail. Yeah, that's definitely a race to the bottom. That's see this is what I'm saying. Like, is that real? Like this is like this is what I'm saying. Whatever reality that they living in, right? Whatever reality is their everyday life is not real. It's not, like nothing can be that important for you to do where you feel like you need to go to jail. It's like, yeah, see, their reality, look, this is, and listen to me carefully, man. Listen to me carefully. I'm not saying, you know, in the form of, I'm not saying in the form of, you know, you being too high-minded. You know, I'm not saying in the form of what you deserve or don't deserve. But this is why women have to lower their standards, man. Because this brother, whoever told you that, anybody who has that mentality, apparently has never or not many times experienced the pleasures of a woman. There's just no way. Like, they might be good at sports. They might be an excellent shot with a machine gun. But they don't get power use. See, we need women to save our community from individuals like this. We need some volunteers. I'm asking you, I'm not telling you. I'm asking. Can we get some volunteers to save lives out here? Save lives. We think of how many lives you could save. Think of how safe you can make. Think of how safe you can make the neighborhood. If you could just have a talk with this individual that Smoked Out was talking about right now. It just got to be. You know, where's y'all empathy, man? Where's y'all humanity? Where's the Martin Luther Queen? Where's the Martina Luther Queen? Come and save us. Somebody has to, you know, y'all got the Harriet Tubman right here. Somebody has to go back and save this individual's mind. They have to save this individual's mind from the plantation. You know, in this situation, you know, women are best equipped. Women are best equipped to save the world, right? I don't see. You know, of course. Well, we don't have. You know, once we moved on from being hotel, we don't have very many women viewers here. But you know, look, it's just a request. It's just a request. You can go down in history for saving lives. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Classy ratchet to me seems a misnomer, and not only that, it looks like a misnomer. Meaning, it looks confusing. It doesn't make sense when you see it in action. Like for instance, basketball wives is, that's kind of the plot right there. Classy ratchet. Love and hip hop. Kind of the same. Classy ratchet. And when you see it, it looks oxymoronic. You know. Nah, smoked hours, but you gotta remember smoked hours said volunteer for $200 an hour. See smoked hours, see how smoked hours bounce back and forth? you see how you see how smoked hours bounce back and forth? But these cats, I don't think they got the loot. Nah, see that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be like Kevin Samuels. I'm not saying what they deserve. I'm asking. Look, it's like when they shine the Batman, when they shine the Batman light, or when Clark Kent said, "Hold up, let me go call Superman." That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm just putting in a request. Yeah, Wise. That was in town. Yeah, right. Reality TV. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You see that a lot over there. Mr. Spock said the youth's reality is theirs. Is theirs. You can't take it from them. All they can do is live it themselves, only to eventually find out they wasting time. They can't get back. I mean, that's what happens. That's what happens when you get fooled. That's what I'm saying. That's when you deal with being tricked, right? We a lot of times we just look at deception, right? But there's also distraction. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the ways you could be distracted, is by being put in a situation where, everything that you're dealing with every day, your reality is not real. It's based on illusion. You know, and what happens is you end up in a situation where, like you said, now it's too late. The trader has disappeared, and there's no one there to speak your language. You understand what I'm saying? But just saying that, look, when we see the stuff that's going on around us, look, it's time to be aware, right? That look, you gotta be dealing with the seen and in the unseen. And when I say unseen, I don't mean in a mysterious form. I just mean that's out of view of the naked eye. You see what I'm saying? Like we can read the paper, right, and we see that propaganda right there. But then there's the unseen of what it is that they're using that propaganda to conceal. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, like when you deal with the power degree, right? There's the illusion, right? The seen illusion that they're giving you of Christ and his teachers being Christianity so that you believe in that, right? But then there's also the unseen, right? Their dirty religion, their dirty ways and actions, their dirty intentions, right? That's being shielded. They doing it. So you gotta, you gotta master both. You gotta master not being fooled by this deception here, right? And then you gotta not get caught up in what you're being distracted from. Latifah, she's another whole show. She's another whole show. Now, I do think she relates a little bit to the topic that we're talking about in terms of something that the brother Seven Power was saying earlier, is that, and like I said, a lot of times, sometimes I don't say nothing about this because, it's not like I don't want her to be successful, you know what I mean? But when she came out, kind of her message to black girls and everything. Well, I'm not a black girl, so I can't, but what it looked like to me, is that she was kind of pushing a message more of empowerment through culture. You know what I'm saying? Through, being in tune with your culture and, having knowledge, you know what I'm saying? And, all of that went away, and, all of a sudden you start seeing her on the L'Oreal commercial and, pizza commercials. The brother was just telling me about it. She was in the pizza commercial with the pepperoni, you know what I mean? So, that would be one of the things that that I would agree with what Seven Power said. That kind of person. It doesn't seem like a place was made for that. Once the corporate powers took over hip hop, right? All of those kind of women like that disappeared. The Bahamadia, that just had a little bit different message. Seven Power said, respect the Queen Latifah, but we need the youth to carry the torch on. I mean, always that. So, are you familiar with the guy Nap from LI? I brought up the live and he gave me some background on you. Nap. Nah, I don't know. I can't record. Does he have a? Is that like a? Is that an abbreviation? Shakanulu Almighty. She says she also makes powerful anti-man statements. Queen Latifah, I haven't really paid that much attention to her once she became, the L'Oreal spokesman and all of that, and, got her daytime talk show TV. Almighty said females have not been taught how to identify their emotions from A to Z after being examined. What do you mean by that? He said they tried to replace Bahamadia with Rhapsody. Is Rhapsody the young lady that she made a version of? She used a beat from Liquid Swords. She did a song with Jizza. That's Rhapsody. I haven't heard a whole lot from her. I don't have really an opinion. You know what I'm saying? For me, there's only there's the Bahamadia, the MC Lights that really, they able to kind of walk that fine line. You know, a lot of times it's like just certain people, like I'm not into drill music. I just, like the stuff they saying, I don't really be hearing lines and they rhymes. It's not whether it's good or bad. Like I'm not into classical music. You know what I'm saying? I really don't like R&B like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, just the stuff that people is talking about and that, but Almighty God. See, all of y'all in general, man, that's how I know y'all read your Bible, man, cause y'all be harsh. Y'all be hard on these women. To use a euphemism from Smoked Out. Right, 793rd. Listen, I'm glad you said it. 790. Yeah, she doesn't stand out to me with that same energy and lyricism and presence. Ditto. Mrs. Fox said no one want to listen to Queen Latifah, but she can still teach someone else who they will listen to. I'm not concerned with grown men. I'm only talking about youngins. Well, I think y'all tapping on to something right now that I've been asking women for a long time, right? And I've been just noticing that, see, women don't really have OGs. Like it's only, like there was Maya Angelou, Oprah is not really an OG. It's not really, you know what I'm saying? Like they not, like a old gangster, right, could come out right now and say something, and young gangsters, they might not stop doing what they doing, but they'll take heed to that. You know what I'm saying? If an old gangster come out and tell a young gangster, yo, look, if you do things like this right here, you'll get caught. See, an older woman can't come out and tell a younger woman, yo, look, how you dressing right there, that might not be the best. They don't have a OG culture like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you're right. I mean, I don't think her coming out saying nothing right now would make a difference. I'm just saying that back then, when she was on top, You know what I'm saying? Uh, that was just an observation that I made. You know that, once she, got big time, you stop hearing that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Uh, the first, time it really got big, you know, uh, basically, uh, Public Enemy. When it's like, look, if you want to stay in this position right here, you got to tone it down. You could, we know that the kind of aura of this group is speaking truth to power. Because you're supposed to speak the truth to the power out there, not the power right here, lady. He said, I mean, they come from unhealthy relationships, so in order to draw her up properly, she must be examined properly, especially after the fast. He said, there are 10 units to healthy relationships. I am developing that earth blessing in the present time. Oh, I see. So you do this for a living? That's your profession? Some type of, therapy or something? I can say, how many times I was building with the young guy about the drill music he be playing, and he'd be like, "Yeah, you sound like Granddad," and you talking about '90s rap music. I mean, I don't listen to my kids' music. You know, maybe this was some years ago. I happened to be just sitting in the house, and and they playing the music loud. So I heard some of it, and afterwards I was a little bit dumber. That's at least the way I felt. Like I think I was, you know, if I listen to that stuff too much, class is over. I really don't think I can maintain uh, a high level of intelligence and listen to that music. You know, it's one of the things where, like I told you, look, I'll just take that on face value. Like I'm not going to listen to a whole bunch of it to experiment and see if I still have sense after that. He said, why isn't more 5% in Airbnb, especially around the short food? There's a lot of money being swallowed up. Uh, you know, there's other aspects than 120 lessons. Real estate is one of them. You know, a lot of people got to catch up on those lessons. You know what I mean? Because that's a part of reality being real. You know what I'm saying? Reality. You can come up with all these theoretical realities. Like the metaverse, is a theoretical reality for people to be in it. But yeah, that, not just that real estate endeavor. Yeah, Queen Latifah, look, she, she is very successful. You know, uh, that being said, I noticed a difference, right? A marked difference in, the amount of culture that she was presenting. You know what I'm saying? Just in, uh, Queen Latifah was a person that I would have thought would have been more vocal, like say with the Sandra Bland situation. Let's say not even George Floyd, but you know, it's just one of the things. Uh, you know, uh, Flavor Flav. Even though it's a little bit different situation, he's another person that is like, all that success, right, was at the cost of, uh, you know, a cultural icon. You know what I'm saying? Like that clock used to stand for, what time it is. Out here in society, man, you know what time it is with the devil, man. You're seeing through all this propaganda. You know what I'm saying? You're not caught up in it, nothing that the devil gives you, man. And, it got reduced to, you could be on the show for another week and be ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So, that's, like I was saying, when you can control somebody's reality, right, and it's something that's based on an illusion, you know, that's another thing that happens, right, is where, you don't try to take this person out, right? Like, if they would try to take Flavor Flav out, then, maybe he becomes a martyr, and more people start to have this mindset that, yo, we got to know what time it is with everything that's going on. See, as if I was saying, we got a science to the clock where we know what time it is, where everybody else and with us. But when, you start doing things where, what they say, debased, where the foundation of what this is really about is taken away, and then now you're just kind of doing this ritualistic thing out there. So, and that's what's, it's, it feels a little bit funny doing it because it's like, it's not like I don't want you to be successful. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I gotta look at, the fact, if a person, you being successful, right? That don't mean nothing about the impact that you having on everybody's around you. Shalom was the science. Yeah, I know, but it's, it's as simple as it seems, Wise Prince. It's that's just a science that, you know, uh, like I said, with everything is positive and negative, right? So there's a lot of benefits of getting the knowledge at a young age. You know what I'm saying? And it's not really even a drawback, but one of the challenges, right, is what you grow into. You know, what you grow up to be in the realm of seven and in society. You know what I'm saying? You know, do you grow up to be a drug addict? Do you grow up to be a doctor? Do you grow up to be a bum? Do you grow up to be a lawyer? You know what I'm saying? These is the things that's wide open to you. You know what I'm saying? The potential is infinite in both directions. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, as simple as it seems, you know, the science of real estate is something that people still have to grow into after all these years. This is Spike said Bob Marley believed he could help save the world by injecting love into music. Ninjas now is doing the opposite, injecting hate and getting the opposite results. I mean, yeah, it's not looking good. VC Run, who's the equalizer? Whoa, Smoked Out, gunshots. Smoked Out says she lived life as a white woman. Man, y'all are really, y'all on some harsh. Y'all got y'all swords, long knives is out tonight. Yeah, wise. That's well, you know what ends up happening? For the most part, you know, everybody that's out of town, they got a person in New York. You know what I'm saying? You know, so a lot of, you know, there's situations going back before Airbnb. You know what I'm saying? Where people have come out here to show and prove and dealt with it the way you're saying. You know, but I'm just saying that, you know, in terms of a lot of different people doing it, you know, but what I was getting ready to say though is that a lot of people, they offer the space for free. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, the person probably hit them with a couple dollars anyway, but a lot of times that's what ends up happening. So Don Bishop said, it's much harder getting the knowledge when I got it than when you got it. At the same time, I never fell victim to the devil's ring and growing up in the desert. I'm still cool. What do you mean it's much harder to get the knowledge? I mean, now you're saying it's harder? You mean it's nah, I can't. I can't. That right now, I'm catching a brain freeze on that one. How is it harder now? Seven Power said the devil caught on to our messages in the music and limited our creative control. And the music got more dumbed down too. You know, like people started just saying names and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you saying people's names, you saying blocks and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, you speaking on specific events. You know, so that made it much easier. You know what I'm saying? You know, like there was other rappers that was saying things, but it's like, yeah, you know, if you don't know them, but you know, once it just came to just the, you know, like before, you know, they might see somebody and be like, yo, you know, he's from LA. You think, but then, you know, Snoop is going to just come out and say, yo, I'm a motherfucking CRIP. I don't know what y'all heard about me. When so see 793rd, the last comment you put in there. I didn't even want to bring that up, but she used to throw parties. She used to throw parties down there on Varick. And she used to come to parties too. You know what I'm saying? With her team, with her team that you talk about. But at that time, it was still like people wasn't talking about it. But those of us that we used to see her around, we knew what time it was. Absolutely. Yeah, that's true, wise prince. There's a couple of things, but those are the things that we gotta. That's why we doing the credit union. We're gonna start checking all those boxes. In fact, though, now that you mention that, it is. Quan was saying he's gonna come and do a financial literacy. He's gonna teach financial literacy. He's picking what day he's gonna come in and start dealing with that. Smoked Out says today poses its own issues. If you under 30, you getting the knowledge in a vacuum. I can't say my whole block was called Degrees with me, and that was the movement and the way I understand it was previously. Hmm. Uh, yeah, I can see that challenge where it's like, uh, it's a little more. Y'all don't got the monkey see, monkey do. Y'all don't got the monkey see, monkey do uh, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like for instance, when I first came to the cipher, right? You come in and they put you at the end. You know what I mean? So you get to see everybody build on mathematics. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you happen to get explained it from scratch. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things. Yeah, nobody didn't really formally tell me that. You know what I'm saying? It was I could be immersed in the culture. The cultural immersion was definitely greater at that time, and that kind of thing does make it easier. Don Bishop said already having a family and having to worry about bills and mortgage and holding down a second job to hold it down took away from me, just worried about school, work, and lessons. Well, yeah, that's an age thing. That's not a time thing. That was that was the case in 1964. Seven Power said, "I'm from the South and I dislike South music." I mean, it it the Southern music, right? It see it's like a lot of errors or something, or just a lot of what I mean. It's different. It's not one category. Because you got some legendary people down there. I mean, he wasn't necessarily somebody that I would put, like the early Cash Money, I liked him. BG, I think BG is dope. I think BG is one of the underrated people in that there's people now like when I listen to, well, not when I listen to, when, I happen to be walking past somewhere and I hear the Kodak Black, sounds like BG to me. He's doing an imitation of BG. You know what I'm saying? And the early Juvenile, when he came out with that, and he had the baby pit bull and they was feeding his spice ham and the old ladies on the porch. Yo, when I saw that shit, I was like, yo, so this shit right here is real. Like this, I was the 400 degree shit. I was fucking with that just cause the just the shit he was talking about and the way he was manifesting it. But then, after a while he got into the candy paint shit too. But you got that, you got Scarface, you know what I'm saying? You got some people down there that did their thing. DOC is from Texas. So, it's there's some stuff from down there that I don't like. But there's some stuff that I do like. 7, all right, now 7 Power, I can see what you're saying. If you grew up listening to music with a little more of a message, positive, conscious message and all of that, then yeah, you probably have, probably be a little bit more difficult for you to get into, Laffy Taffy and this type of stuff. Major Bank Mentality, Peace said we must continue to let our sound travel as we continue to build our society. If social equality, only reason the people are more aware nowadays is because the Allah's nation has never stopped teaching. Yeah, that to me is the part where I would say it's easier because it's you're not as immersed in it, right? But it's a part of every aspect of culture now. Like when I just hear people speaking now, people be speaking anytime they speaking on anything over like if they just talking about sports, that's different. But if they talking about any type of like political topic or something, you will hear them refer to that conversation as building. You know what I'm saying? Or just, like I said, Drake is the sixth guy. You know, uh, every aspect of the culture, got, a little something that came from the 5%. You know what I'm saying? I would say this. It's harder to get it right. It's probably harder to get it right if you get it in any one of these new ways. Not the old fashioned kind of ways where you get it from a person or a group of people and then you immersed in the culture with them. You know what I'm saying? So that part is more difficult, but just I never heard of Supreme Mathematics before I saw it. Somebody showed me that it actually I probably would have got the knowledge a lot sooner. But it was like I was around the brothers and I'm hearing all this shit they talking about. I don't really know what it's about until I saw the mathematics. I don't think that happens too often these days. We got cats walking around like Tobias. Yeah, Rahman, you nuts, man. Major Bank mentality said the devil teaching hard daily. The science of his clock is to keep us on it. So we won't have energy to study self. Yeah, right now, they got people on the clock. We was talking about that too the other day in terms of survival. Survival takes more than 8 hours now. See, like Don Bishop talking about, having a second job and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Where, you just don't have time to be militant. You know what I'm saying? From a corporate America standpoint, the reason why there was all those George Floyd riots is because people ain't had to go to work. That's actually there's a, like, I guess in the field of criminology, there's a theory about that in New York City, right? In New York City, in I think that was 1977, it was a blackout, right? Something happened down in Con Edison, knocked the electricity out in the whole city, you know, and everything went crazy. Thousands of people had to be arrested. You know, uh, every place. You know, like there was a bank down on the strip right there. I saw the people going over there. I saw the cops coming to get them. I was a little kid, but I'm looking out. We were on the fire escape. You know what I'm saying? And they contrasted that with that blackout that happened in like 2003 or something that knocked out the whole East Coast. So the first one I was talking about, it didn't knock out the whole East Coast, but it knocked out the whole New York. And the second one, it knocked out the whole East Coast, but this particular idea, they were speaking specifically on New York City. And they were saying, the question was, how come there was no, mass, crime events in the blackout that happened in the 2000s? And they was like, because unemployment, in New York, in the black communities, was running like 30-40%. You know what I'm saying? And so, people everybody was just getting up when the lights went out. As opposed to the one that happened in, I think, 2003. They was like, it happened towards the end of the workday. So most people was tired and just wanted to go home and was just hoping the lights was on the next day so they could go to work. That's that's one of the tactics, right? That have evolved, from the situations. Like I said, democracy, communism, socialism, all of these things is. Hold on for a second. yeah, that's one of the ways that they devised to, to deal with unrest amongst the population. You know what I'm saying? Because you had several situations, right, where the people felt like they wasn't getting enough money, right? They felt like they wasn't getting enough bread, and heads rolled. You know what I'm saying? Like, we here in America where, we go to social studies class and we learn about taxation without representation. You know what I'm saying? Or you hear about the French Revolution, where the the people stormed the gates, right? Because, they were starving. And the French king had no answer for it. So they chopped his head off. And it was the French Revolution. Same thing happened in Russia. So, them kind of giving you a way to, minimally survive is it's kind of a tactic to keep you locked in place. You know what I'm saying? They can brutalize you. They can brutalize you in all these other ways, right? Because at the end, they give you a few scraps. So when I got it in school, I was immersed in that culture 8 hours. Now, I was immersed in it 24 hours a day. And when we got out of school, it was just getting started. Now we got to go up to the 5th. Oh, Queen Latifah is you talking about the crime fighting equalizer? J. Cole is from the South. I thought J. Cole was from Chicago or something. Yeah, 793rd. They was having parties down there on Ferry. It was on the low, G. Everybody, even people in New York, ain't know. Like they was down there on an off night. You know what I'm saying? Where people not usually in the area. You know what I'm saying? It was off in the dip, but I seen it. And she used to come to the Cheetah Club. She used to come to the Cheetah Club with her team when it was popping. I can't even recall what years that was. That was like right after the tunnel. Now I think the tunnel was still around, but it wasn't the same at that point. But I would say 97, 97, 98, 99. DC Ron said, I thought How was a parody song when I first heard it. But you thought it was a parody of? I never heard the other song. Yeah, you're right about that. See, y'all fucking around. Y'all fucking around with that, with them JanSport strings. That's why y'all can't get the knowledge. After Yakub was playing with 2 pieces of metal, did the thought already exist, or did he just choose to create the unlike instead by studying the repeat effect of the metal, where that thought comes from. Alright, see, it, you said pieces of metal, right? See, you know, this is a literal, definition right there, right? Steel on face value is metal, right? But the degree is not talking about metal. See, when you deal with the metal pieces, right? They display certain properties, right? And how they interact with other pieces of metal, right? That fit under a certain, it's got to be, this thing has got to have attraction for that thing. Meaning that, if you got a regular magnet, right, it doesn't attract copper. If you got a regular iron magnet, you can't attract a penny with that. You know what I'm saying? But, for each thing, there's something that got magnetic, even if it's only on the atomic level. So when he's talking about pieces of steel, right, he's really talking about different people and different entities within society and how they interact with each other. See, I don't even know when I cut off there. Somebody had to fill me back in, but hopefully you caught what I was saying. The aspect that the pieces of steel, right, is not speaking only about the pieces of metal, right? It's talking about the different elements in society, right? Whether you're talking about man and woman, right? Whether you're talking about public and private, boss and employee. You understand what I'm saying? You could even be speaking of inanimate things. You know what I'm saying? Drugs, money. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with money, which piece still has the magnetic? The money or you? You understand what I'm saying? Are you attracting the money, or is the money attracting you? See, the difference is what you're going to be ready to do for it. You see what I mean? And when Yakub, with his law, right, he can manipulate, control and manipulate you to do things for money that might be outside of your nature. But, the key thing is to, not take it on face value that he's talking about only pieces of metal. Don't leave the pieces of metal out, right? Because the pieces of metal are also here in society. I'm talking about, look, the cell phones that we have magnets in them. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a part of our reality every day, whether we know it or not. That's actually one of the more that's one of the things that allowed them to miniaturize electronics, right? Is finding other things that have magnetic power that is smaller than a piece of steel. Smoked Out said, I keep hearing stories about people getting their strings took. Yeah, that's right. I keep hearing it too, Smoked Out. And the wild thing is I be hearing it from people that's like just a little bit younger than me. And I've asked people my age, no one has heard of that. And look, I asked my son, right? He's never heard of that. So there was apparently just a small error in there where cats lost their minds. But it was a real thing. It's actually a song about it. I don't know how I missed this. I don't know what's wrong with these cats, right? Running around with strings. Smoked Out said, I wrote a report on the contributing social factors to that riot in college. Which riot? Major Bank Mentality said, it was blazing hot during the blackout 2003. I had left the day prior, heading to now see. Yeah, it was blazing hot that one in 77 too. That one, I think the heat may have had an impact on that one too. But I know something knocked out a generator and it knocked out the whole city. J. Cole is from Fayetteville? No, I didn't know that. I always thought J. Cole was from up in Chicago somewhere, Illinois. Seven Power said the clock science is deep. One of my brothers by the name Poetic be cracking code on the science of the clock. He brought to my attention that if you look at the clock above the 6 is 12. What's the significance of that? Yeah, you saying Queen Latifah's the equalizer now? I mean, it's not like that was my favorite show or nothing like that, but, some stuff, it's like, come on, man. The Channel was last popular for us probably, yeah, like 96, it was pretty much, like it started, you know what it was? For me at least, what it seemed like, it was that the riffraff found out about it. Like there was just a period of time when for me it was just footloose and fancy free down there. Like it was like a playground, and it was like you know just going to parties in the hood. Before that it was just a different type of thing. It was like, oh man, every night you gotta be ready. You know what I'm saying? But going down there, it was a different world for me. But then like around that time, like you said, now you start getting the riffraff. Cats coming in. It's like, dude, you're not thinking like I'm thinking. You're not here for what I'm here for. Yeah, in the Cheetah Club, you talking about the when they had the trigger warning. trigger warning, because just like you said, that was the late '90s, early 2000s. So I don't know if this is cool now, if this is politically correct, but you talking about the women that they had dancing in the bird cages? There used to be giant bird cages at the Cheetah Club with scantily clad women dancing. That said in regards to the above statement about are we attracted to money or is money attracted to you, when the things you own end up owning you is pretty apparent. It's apparent to us. It's apparent to the people who, you know what I'm saying, it's apparent to, people that's not owned by money. But it's not apparent to the people. Like, there's people that don't know that the person is faking the funk. It's people that don't know they faking the funk. Like, the brother was telling me a story, right, about a dude on his block, right? The dude goes out and gets a Benz, right? He got a Benz, but he's only fly for a month. At the end of the month, he had to get a car to his mom's because he couldn't make the payments or, keep up with the oil changes and all of that shit. Because, you can't get the regular $30, $40 oil change when you got a Benz. Like, he didn't realize that he was faking the funk his own self. And just a lot of people, they out, you see this person, they look like they balling, but behind the scenes, like you said, the thing is owning them. You was going to the tunnel in '87. I didn't even know the tunnel was around in '87. Back at that time, people was going like the Red Zone and what was that other joint? Over there used to be kind of wild. Wait, what you said? There was a virtual map around the bar of who. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The riffraff. You know what I'm saying? When Brooklyn started coming in 150 deep, Queens started coming in 200 deep. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah. That's when it broke down. In '87, the rooftop. Was the rooftop still popping in '87? That probably was towards the end. The rooftop is a little more But now with the bird cages and the women dancing, nah, that was the Cheetah Club. Uh, the tunnel, that was unisex bathrooms. That was the first time I saw. You know what I'm saying? You talking about? Listen, that was a culture shock. I go to the bathroom, right? I'm using the bathroom, man, and I see some people walk past the opening right there. So I'm like, yo, seemed like some women just walked right past. So I wasn't really. Couple minutes, couple seconds passed, a few more of them walked past. So I finished using the bathroom. I go around to the back where they at. There was all party going on. It said the tunnel opened in '86. They was having hip hop parties. But in '87, I don't know about the rooftop. '87 is, like I said, Red Zone, Union Square is around '87. I don't know when I cut off there again, but yeah, I was just saying, I still was at the house parties in '86, '87 for the most part. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't remember the tunnel. But you saying they didn't have hip hop. Yes, I didn't recall George Benson. Nah, I never was at a party where they played George Benson unless it was in my house. But that's before. When you talk about George Benson, now you're going back to what was that place they had over there? Boston. You talking about Boston Ballroom? That's like my parents. my parents used to go. You talking about Boston Ballroom and what was that other shit they had? They used to have hip hop in there too in '87. Down there on 50. That's like 52nd Street. The Roseland. Look at Tobias back in here with us. You good today, Tobias? Yeah, no, I had never. I heard of the tunnel and seen it and went in there all in the same day. Like I had never heard of there. I have been in the area and everything, and actually it was this brother that was out here from Oakland, and he DJ, he True Justice. If you check him from the Bay Area, he toured with cats out there, but so he was trying to get in the DJ, he was just starting out then, getting his name out there, and so he was the one that was like, yo, G, let's go to this joint. And at the time, like I said, I had like a bad 2 years. When I'm just talking about literally, G, it was like every party for like 2 years. It was like, yo, son, we never left. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like every time we left, it was, emergency. You know what I'm saying? And I just, I wasn't just in the. I was like, nah, I ain't really trying to go. And then he was like, yo, let's just go over there, you know what I'm saying, and just, see what's good. Let's just see the scene. And we got over there, and I saw the ratio on the line, and everything that I was thinking about not going to parties just flew out the window. You said Jessica brought flex and hip hop. Who Jessica? She was one of the people at the what's her name? Oh, Skate Key, yeah, Skate Key, the Empire. Definitely the key though. Yeah, matter of fact, something, you can't leave the Skate Key out at that era. You know, uh, I remember when Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick came in there and did the show before it was a record. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, people was like, yeah, they did some new shit, it was alright, but everybody went to hear Lottie Dottie and treated him like a prostitute. And a couple of people came to the key very early. You had the Stardust Ballroom, too, up on Boston Road. You saying what year was what? Ah man, see you talking about that was old school people back in the days. Oh, Dougie Fresh coming to skate, that was like 85. The song came out like right after that. Like a couple, like I would say like within a month, the song came on the radio. And when it came on the radio, it was totally different. But everybody was like, oh shit, that was the same song. Yeah, but these jump offs, you talking about 793rd, Bentleys, the Silver Shadow, Palladium. Later on, they relented. But a lot of them places, like Bentleys and shit, they used to advertise that they didn't play hip hop. Like when they used to come on the radio, yo, this party gonna be in Bentleys or the Red Parrot. It would say, yo, we gonna be playing the smooth R&B, none of that hip hop shit. You know what I mean? No sneakers. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't exactly hip hop clubs at first. At some point, and they would have, there would be hip hop nights, but even with that, like the what's the name, like you had to be 25 to get in there. Say got to experience Skate Key shortly before it closed. But see, the Skate Key you saw was on 138th Street, right? So you saw the 138th Street. Yeah, down there it was war zone, and I didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, that was when the gang life, you know what I'm saying, was coming to New York, and that was being the source of a lot of things, but I wasn't a part of that world, so I didn't know where it was coming from. Right, the Q Club out in Jamaica was popping, absolutely. Yeah, now with Major Bank Mentality talking about, that was when it was up on White Plains Road by Allison. Now 138th, not 183rd. They moved it, man. They moved it maybe about 92, 93. They moved it to 138th Street over there by uh the fuck is that street? Over there by Patterson, between Patterson and the concourse over there. But Tobias, where you at? What you doing? What you doing back, man? What is this about? You came in at the right time too. You came in right when my battery was dying. Where you at, Tobias? I got a question for you, Tobias. What do you hope to accomplish or experience by tuning into the Random Jewels channel? What are you doing? Just doing the knowledge? So I'm saying, what have you observed? Because we see from your comments yesterday that you have been somewhere in the background doing the knowledge for some time. What have you learned? Because yesterday when I asked you why that's your name, and you went into that. Uh, you kind of demonstrated that you don't have a grasp of supreme mathematics, what it is, or how it's used. I wish I knew this. Welcome to the channel. this what are these places you talking about here, smoked out? But you know one thing I noticed about Tobias? Tobias is always talking until you talking to him. But that's the way it seems to work. You know, I was just saying that, you know, Tobias gave us an example yesterday of somebody that, you know, he's existing in a reality that's not real. You know, reality is real. You know, but a person could be existing in the real world, having an impact on the real world, but what they're dealing with is not real. Like when a person is talking to somebody imaginary, right? The sound that they producing is traveling at 1,120 feet per second. But it's not really reaching any person. The person that they talking to is not real, but you still hearing whatever it is that they saying. And see, some people is living in an illusion that they 5%. You said we aren't connected well enough to face-to-face chat. I mean, I don't really need a face-to-face chat with you. Like, is there something that you think you could communicate better if we was face-to-face? I guess not. But you know, fly frames from the Providence plantations. But you know, he demonstrated yesterday, you know, how he exists in a reality that is not real. So you think, so what is it that you think